Welcome everyone to the Township Council meeting Monday, December 20th, 2021. This meeting is now called to order. Are these mics on? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Just want to make sure. Mrs. Kraus, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Kraus?
Yes, I'm here.
Melissa, tell you what.
She's here.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Go ahead.
Chase O'Neill, would you like to say the Pledge of Allegiance for us? Come on, you can do it.
Do it from your seat, Chase. You can do it.
Help it, Lacey.
Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Chase. Mrs. Kraus, can you read the statement of public notice?
Take notice that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with NJSA 10:4-8 and NJSA 10:4-10 as follows. The notice of the meeting was prominently posted on the bulletin board at the municipal building located at 225 Main Street, Little Falls, New Jersey on July 22nd, 2021. A copy of the notice was mailed to the North Jersey Herald and News and the Record on the same date. Additionally, a copy of the notice was filed in the office of the Township Clerk on said date. This meeting is being conducted under the circumstances surrounding the COVID-19 health situation. Only 25 members of the public will be allowed to attend the meeting in person. A link and a telephone number to join the meeting virtually can be accessed on the Township website at www.lfnj.com. Electronic provisions have been established for the public to participate during the public comment portion of the meeting.
Mrs. Kraus, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Hablitz,
Present.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Present.
Councilmember Sieber,
Present.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Present.
Council President Scoba.
Present. Anyway, at this time, thank you. It's not, right? At this time, hello? I don't think this is on. We're going to move the agenda around. We're going to have our Councilwoman Sieber program. Councilwoman Sieber.
Council President. So I'm going to move down to the floor.
There you go. There you go.
Tina.
You should be good.
Okay, so thank you so much to our first place winner, the Magnolia family. They are at 112 Ridge Avenue. So please drive by. A trophy for you. Thank you. And along with a $100 ShopRite gift card donated by ShopRite as well. Falls Farmers Market bag. Along with bragging rights.
Most important. Congratulations.
So next, I'd like to bring up the second place winner, the Imperative family. You can come up here. This is going to be yours.
There you go.
Here is your second place trophy, a Little Falls Farmers Market bag, and a $75 gift card courtesy of ShopRite. And you guys are located at 75 Lincoln Ave.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And then our third place winner, the O'Neill family. Another beautiful house. The O'Neill house is at 116 Francisco Avenue. They win a $50 gift card courtesy of ShopRite, the trophy, and then a Little Falls Farmers Market bag. Congratulations, everybody, not only just to the winners, but everybody who participated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilwoman Seaver. We'll move on. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes for meeting of November 22nd and December 6th? So moved. Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hablitz. You know what? Let's take each meeting separate. Council, do we need a new motion to take each meeting separate? All right, let's start all over. I'm sorry. What's that? Let me have a motion just for the meeting of November 22nd. So moved. Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Hablitz. All those in favor of approving, Mrs. Kraus, can you do a roll call on this? We had some members that weren't present.
Sure. Councilmember Hablitz?
Nope. Mrs. Kraus, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
They can hear us. We can hear them.
Melissa, can you call the roll? For those on, go ahead. This is for the 22nd.
Councilmember Hablitz? I'm sorry, yes. Body?
Abstain.
Councilmember Seaver? Yes. Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting December 6th. So moved. Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Kawadi. Ms. DePiero, can you please call the roll for that?
Councilmember Hablitz? Yes. Councilmember Quaddi?
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver? Yes. Councilmember Vanchery?
Yes.
Council President Scoba?
Yes. Councilmember Hablitz?
Sure, thank you, Council President. I just want to go over some quick reminders with the holidays coming for the library. Tomorrow, the library is hosting their second holiday glass plate painting activity. So far, it is full, but they do have a waiting list. If you go to the library website, you can sign up, and if they have any openings, you can go. It was very successful the first time around. They decided to open a second. I'm sorry, it sounds so loud. They decided to open a second session, which also has filled up. So it's a great activity. You can get your name on the website if you'd like to, on the waiting list, to see if there's any openings. Also, with the week off with the children, I want to remind everyone that the library has museum passes. You can go to the library and pick up museum passes for the Intrepid, for Yogi Berra Museum and Learning Center, for the American Museum of Natural History. So it's a great way to be able to, for yourself or your family, be able to go and visit some of these museums. Lastly, I want to remind everyone, there are things that the library offers that do not have to do with reading the books. They offer hotspots and tablets that you can rent out. They offer baking pans for some of those cakes you may want to make for your children or your mom or dad, baby buggies and teddy bears and different pans that they have. And also they offer snap circuits and little bites. So just wanted to let you know some of the different things that they offer at the library. I'd also like to wish everyone happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and Happy New Year. That's all.
Thank you, Councilmember Havelitz. Councilmember Vanchery.
Thanks, Council President. Yeah. All right, so it should work now. I do want to recognize some people in town for some recent projects that have been handled here. I do want to call to attention the Little Falls Police Department and the PBA 346. They recently held their annual Breakfast with Santa and toy drive. And, based on that, they received a number of toys. And a few days ago, they actually made the trip down to St. Joseph's Hospital to make the donation, much to the delight of the staff at St. Joe's Hospital, as well as the kids that were expecting the gifts. Just want to recognize the work that they do. And I also want to mention last Friday, actually, some officers that were off duty actually went to go see Liam Marquez, who most of you know, who's been battling cancer, a young boy who's 20 months old. And he was coming back from the Children's Hospital in Philadelphia, and a few of the officers, along with some other officers from different towns, made the trek to his home to greet him as he arrives. Just want to call out the guys, the men and the women of our police department, because they really do go above and beyond for the community, and just want to thank them for all the work that they do. I also want to give some kudos to the gentleman on my right here, Council President Scoba. This past Friday, him and the Senior Advisory Committee hosted their annual senior Christmas dinner, and it was a great event. I think everyone had a good time, and each year the mayor and the council get to serve our residents, and just having a chance to watch them, interact with them, and I think they spend a lot of time on the dance floor as well. So kudos to Council President Scoba and his Senior Advisory Committee for the work that they've been doing. I also want to recognize the rec department. I see Mr. John Pace in the back, and I know Tyler Passero is in here. Just all the work that the two of you have been doing with your staff this year for all the different activities. We christened the new turf field, and just watching everything that came to fruition. I know the two of you have been working closely with my colleagues on both sides of me, helping out with farmers markets and so many activities. Just want to thank the two of you for all the work that you've done as well in this town, because it doesn't go unnoticed. Believe me, we see the great work. So thank you there. As I close out, I just do want to say, to everyone in town, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy holiday. For me, I'm honored to be serving as your councilman as I finish my 5th year up at this dais. And, I am very happy with the progress we've made and the work that's done. But most of you know me, I'm never satisfied. I'm always looking to do more. And I'm looking forward to 2022 so we can continue what we're doing here. But just, want to extend my well wishes to everyone on behalf of myself and my family. Happy holidays to everyone, and stay safe. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilmember Vanchery. Councilwoman Seaver.
Thank you, Council President. So as you can see from the awards we just gave out, is that over the past couple of weeks, we have a new event in town called Light Up Little Falls, which we really want to just, encourage people, encourage community, encourage others to see how beautiful our town is. Also a safe event, one that's family focused. So residents were able to sign up for free through our recreation department and through sponsorship of our Little Falls Farmers Market. And it was such a pleasure to bring this event to town, a brand new event. I think we had some of the winners actually say to me when I called them today, they said, I didn't realize it was going to be so popular when I saw all these people driving past my house. So I can't imagine what it's going to grow to next year. And, it's really about bringing light and love into our community and really focusing on that. And so, one of the things that I'd love to encourage people is to just be kind this season. There's a lot of comments that happen on Facebook, on things like that. And, it's not that hard to just be kind. Be kind, look at, other people's perspectives. Somebody's opinion is an opinion, doesn't mean it's wrong. Accept it, show love and just be kind this holiday season. So we don't want to hear any of those cyberbullying issues out there. And I think probably all of us, unfortunately, have experienced that here on council. So show love amongst all of us, your friendly neighbors, your other family members, and of course, other residents of Little Falls. So to that, I wish everybody a very healthy and safe holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Seaver. Councilman Kawadi.
Thank you, Council President. We're coming up on the end of the year, and I feel like, for me personally, it's always an honor to be sitting in this seat and looking around Little Falls and seeing the work that this council, township employees, everyone that's involved, that volunteers to make Little Falls better, have been able to achieve. We're not completely to where we'd like to be. We have more work to do because we always look around and every day see things that can be improved upon and made better. But I feel like we are making great strides, and it is an honor and a privilege to work with the people that I just mentioned in doing our best for Little Falls. And so I want to thank the members of the Domestic Violence Committee, who I work closely with, the Little Falls business community, and the people who run our schools that I work closely with as the council liaison there, for all the work that they do, and especially my fellow council members, the mayor, and the township employees, because I know that our hearts are in the right place, and we truly want to see Little Falls become a better place to live for everyone. And I don't know of anybody that doesn't do their best to do so. And I take great pride in that. And I want to wish everyone a happy and healthy new year and happy holidays and Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Equality. As mentioned by Councilmember Vanchery, this past Friday, we had our senior advisory holiday party. Want to give a big thank you and shout out to Troop 14. Those young men came out and helped serve and cleaned up. One of them is our very own Councilman Kawadi's son. It's so easy for young individuals to not want to do that on a Friday night, but they showed up and did an excellent job. So thank you again to Troop 14. Thank you to my fellow colleagues, the council who came out as well and served, and to the mayor. The mayor is always asking, how the seniors are doing with the senior advisory and the seniors, as well as every other group in this town is important, but especially to our seniors who sometimes have some needs that need to be listened to. I want to give a shout out to Helen Lewis, Janet Cohen, and Phyllis Dillon, my committee individuals who helped put that program on. As mentioned before from this dais about the future meetings, in discussion with the council members and the mayor and staff, we are not sure at the next meeting on January 4th, which would be the reorg, how that meeting will take place, if we're going to be here in council chambers, if we're going to go back to Zoom and be home, or if we're going to go back, or if we're going to have a hybrid as this evening's meeting, or go back to council chambers and have it on YouTube. So that's going to be open for discussions, as long as I'll have that with the council members and staff and the mayor to see what would be the best way to conduct our council meetings in a safe and effective manner for the residents as well as those attending this meeting. We'll see the information that in light that's coming up every day and have that discussion going forward. Mayor Damiano, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Council President. Before I get into my festive report, I first want to talk about a couple of items that are on this evening's agenda. There are two resolutions for this council supporting the application of Class 2 manufacturer licenses within the township, the resolutions E and F on this evening's agenda. Those are resolutions that applicants who are making applications to the state for a Marijuana license, one of the 5 permissible licenses that are permitted within the township. Again, that does exclude the retail license, but it permits the other 5. One of the requests that I understand will be coming from applicants in the future and starting now are requests for the council to pass resolutions supporting their application to the state. It is one of the important documents or requests that are made and included in these application packets to the state and requesting a license, indicating that they do have the consent of the municipality and the approval of support for this application, because what the state does not want to do is issue licenses to individuals who then cannot ultimately use them in the municipality that they are issued. So this is one of the steps that, again, this council has opted to, or has agreed to permit anyone who asks for one of the permissible licenses, provided they meet the other criteria required in town. They will support all of those resolutions moving forward and provide everybody with a fair and equal opportunity to obtain one of the class licenses that are permitted here in Little Falls. Now that we've addressed that, onto some lighter things. First, Light Up Little Falls was an incredible event this year. I love how many first annual things I have seen coming from this council over the past 5 years. This council works tirelessly to come up with new events, whether it be our first annual Light Up Little Falls, our first annual Farmers Market. There have been our first annual 5K, their first annual Water Day. There have been so many first annuals over these past few years that I absolutely love the direction that this municipality continues to grow. And I want to thank all of the council members for everything that they do. It still makes me smile every time that I drive down Main Street, Patterson Ave, one of the roadways in Little Falls on a Saturday or Sunday morning, and Council President Scoba is out there with his grabbers and a bucket picking up garbage and litter. One of his main concerns throughout the municipality. We've come a long way in cleaning up litter throughout the municipality, and some of that especially is very much thanks to Council President Scoba, who gets himself out there bright and early on weekends to help the town clean up. The senior holiday dinner this past week was another exciting event. There were a number of seniors in attendance. It's always fun to serve them food and have conversations with them. The one thing that I absolutely love about discussions with our senior group is they tell you how it is. There is no holding back. They will tell you whatever's on their mind, whether you like it or you hate it. And I absolutely love having those conversations with our seniors in our community. I want to thank Mr. Pace for all of the activities that he continues to run through our rec department. His plate has certainly been piled on lately with more and more activities. I want to thank him for all that he does for this municipality. Finally, I want to thank the township employees, Business Administrator Chuck Guccia, our clerk, Cynthia Kraus, and Deputy Clerk Melissa DePiero, and all of the employees here in Town Hall for their work day in and day out. We really are at bare bones staffing here in Little Falls, as are many municipalities throughout the state and the country. They all have a very distinct job that they do, but not only do they do their job, when somebody else in this building needs help, they're all willing to lend a helping hand to whoever it is in the building. And it has been absolutely amazing to watch. And I am so thankful for everything that they do for this municipality every single day. Finally, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a happy and safe and healthy New Year. God bless everyone. Stay safe, and let's get through these holidays and enjoy them very much. Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you, Mayor Damiano. Councilor Wenzel, thank you for your guidance throughout the political season, for guiding us. I can't recall the last time we've been in executive session, which is a tribute to your guidance, as well as the staff and the mayors and these fellow council people, because I think it's been quite a long time. Do you have anything to report to us?
Nothing, Council President. As always, it's a pleasure to serve this council and the administration in a cooperative fashion. Many councils and mayors and administrations do not get along, and you can see the results in those communities. So it's a pleasure to work with all of you, and I do look forward to the new year and seeing you all at that time.
Thank you,
Whatever
Council.
fashion.
Thank you, Council. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Quattie. All those in favor of opening the meeting to agenda items signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to that motion signify by saying nay. Mrs. Kraus, can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you please read the public comment?
Sure. Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Thank you, Mrs. Kraus. The floor is open.
Louis Fernandez, 54 Harrison.
Good evening.
How are you? First of all, I'd like to, in case I forget, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a happy holiday. Now, secondly, this is agenda only, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Mayor, you mentioned resolution E and F just a few minutes ago. Does that mean that the approval of these two resolutions, E and F, is it going to affect at all Patterson Avenue and the residents of Jackson Park?
Good question. So all that this does is it is a document that an applicant can add to their packet to the state when applying for a license. It changes nothing about the prior ordinances that permits the locations where these establishments are permitted to operate. It changes nothing about the class license again, because this council has specifically prohibited retail within the entire municipality. It changes none of that. It is simply a document that these applicants can include in their packet to the state to say that they have a resolution in support of their application for a license. That's all that this is.
All right, so as far as, refresh my memory, please. As far as I understand it, any cannabis, whatever, any marijuana business on Patterson Avenue right now is off the table. In fact, the only section that was, I guess, approved was the one on Route 46. Is that right?
Correct. The B2 zone along Route 46 and not within 1,000 square feet of 1,000 feet of a school.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez, for coming out this evening on behalf of the council members and the mayor. Wish you a good holiday season and a safe and happy new year. Is there anyone else that'd like to come forward?
No other race.
Thank you, Mr. Kushif. At this time, can I have a motion to close the public comment?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Quattie, second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of closing the public comment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. That motion carries. Have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Kawadi. Mrs. Kraus, can you please call the roll on the consent agenda?
Councilmember Hablitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Sieber,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Yes, Mrs. Kraus, at this time, please read ordinance 1429.
Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1429, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic.
Sorry, Mrs. Kraus, you're gonna have to take it from the top.
Okay. Second reading and public hearing of ordinance number 1429, an ordinance entitled, an ordinance of the Township Council of the Township of Little Falls in the County of Passaic, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 7 on-street regulations of the Code of the Township of Little Falls.
Thank you. Have a motion to open to the public hearing on 1429. Moved by Councilmember Kwadi,
Second.
second by Councilmember Havelitz. All those in favor of open to public hearing on 1429 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed to this motion, please do so by signifying nay. The floor is open. Have a motion to close the public hearing on 1429.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Kwadi,
Second.
second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of closing to the public on 1429 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. The motion carries. Can I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1429?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Kwadi. Mrs. Kraus, please call the roll to adopt 1429.
Councilmember Havelitz,
Yes.
Councilmember Kawadi,
Yes.
Councilmember Seaver,
Yes.
Councilmember Vanchery,
Yes.
Council President Scoba.
Can, okay, thank you. I apologize for that inconvenience. Have a motion to open the meeting to the public for general matters?
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Vanchery,
Second.
second by Councilmember Kwadi. All those in favor of opening the meeting to public, for public general matters signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. That motion carries. Mrs. Kraus, please read the statement.
Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President.
Kraus?
Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay. Mrs. Kraus?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you please read the statement one more time, please?
Sure. Anyone wishing to address the Township Council may do so through the Council President. Please give your name and address for the record. Comments are to be limited to 3 minutes. However, if appropriate, you may be granted additional time in the sole discretion of the Council President. Members of the public who have joined the meeting virtually and desire to provide comment shall raise their virtual hand in the Zoom application. The meeting moderator will cue the members of the public that wish to provide comment, and the Council President will recognize them in order. Members of the public who have joined the meeting by calling in must press *6 to mute and unmute themselves and *9 to raise their hand. Members of the public who have joined the meeting via the Zoom application must click the reactions icon and then the raise hand icon. Please give your name and address for the record. Once the process is complete, we will return to the regular order of business.
Okay, thank you. The floor is now open. Mr. Korotkin, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
Very good. The floor is open. Name and address, sir?
Good evening, Arnie Korotkin, 181 Long Hill Road, Little Falls, New Jersey.
Good evening.
Good evening. So, brief statement. As a person with a disability, I'm using the hybrid modality to address the town council with my public comment tonight.
Korotkin,
Hello?
Mr. Korotkin, I'm sorry we lost you. Can you start again, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
As a person with a disability, I'm using the hybrid modality in order to address the town council with my public comment tonight. Without the availability of hybrid modality, I would be unable to participate in tonight's town council meeting. Therefore, I was disheartened really by previous announcements by both the mayor and the council that tonight's meeting would be the last one that would be a hybrid meeting. And now I'm pleased to hear that it's under consideration to continue the hybrid modality with the commencement of the new year. However, it shouldn't be based solely upon the COVID pandemic. I've pointed out and I've read, and I'm sure you read, numerous articles that highlight the value and benefit of the hybrid modality. First and foremost, the hybrid modality enables residents to gain better access to public meetings. This platform and method of meeting access has the potential to increase both participation and transparency by allowing a greater segment of the Little Falls population to participate. Therefore, on behalf of all Little Falls residents, with or without disability, to have the ability to attend the council meeting via the hybrid modality, it would maximize their potential for participation. And I hope that the council would consider the use of the hybrid model for the foreseeable future, even when hopefully the COVID pandemic is way behind us. So please, I implore you, not just for people with disabilities, but for all residents who might have a difficulty. You might recall several months ago, there was a gentleman who was caring for an elderly person at home who couldn't attend meetings. There are other people like me, either permanently or temporarily disabled, who cannot physically attend council meetings. Hear our voices, have compassion. Councilwoman Havlet said, it, have love. Well, have love in your heart for all of us. So please consider it, and wishing you all a healthy,
Crockett?
happy New Year.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for those comments.
I hope you take it into consideration. Thank you.
Very good. Would any council member like to comment regarding those comments from Mr. Korotkin? You may. Yes, Councilmember Seaver, the floor.
Absolutely. Actually, I think it might have been, I know was the one who had mentioned life and love and light, but Christine, Councilwoman Christine Havletts and I work in conjunction with one another, so it's fine.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's quite all right. But I think what's really important too is that council meetings are just one aspect of us governing bodies. And so what's so important is that we're out in the community. We're available at all times via email, via text, in person. So it's really important to understand that this meeting is really a microcosm of what we do. And the amount of hours that each of us spend every week, whether it's working on events, talking to community leaders, talking to residents, working with our recreation department, speaking with our attorney, Joe Wenzel, whatever the case is, this meeting is really a microcosm. And so you do not need this meeting as the sole outreach for you to address us. And that is what is so important to understand, that regardless of any disability or no disability, we are available to you practically 24/7. So please do not take the function of a meeting as the be all, say all, and end all, because that is not true. So at any given point, we are all available. And so I really hear your statement, but also understand that is a microcosm of what we are actually doing.
President Cobo, can I make a comment in response?
Mr. Crockett, sure, the floor is still open. Go ahead.
No, I appreciate your comments, but in light of the Open Public Meetings Act, everyone should have access not only to calling you on the phone or meeting you on the street, but to come to the public forum where we can voice opinions about resolutions that are being introduced, and that it is part of the public record.
Crockett, can you hear us?
One-on-one, it is not part of the public record. So please consider that. Thank you.
Mr. Crockett, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I heard you.
Okay, just give me a, Mr. Crockett, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, but we've been having a really challenging meeting with our audio.
Okay.
So can you kind of just summarize what you were saying? I guess, please?
I appreciate the comments that the councilwoman made, but in light of the Open Public Meetings Act and the fact that resolutions and other items are discussed in a public forum, it's essential that all people have access to attend these council meetings by any means necessary, either in person or via a hybrid modality. So please, please consider that in the interest of transparency, involving citizens, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Crockett. Mr. Kusia.
I was gonna say, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. Before we proceed to Mr. Scherzer, Councilmember Vanchery has the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Council President. Mr. Crockett, I think too, one of the challenges that we still need to figure out on our end is what is the best model? Because if you've seen how once we've returned to the council chambers and started having these type of Zoom meetings, and Mr. Fernandez, I know you've voiced this as well, it's not always running as smoothly as we would like. And tonight, unfortunately, we've had a lot of feedback. Again.
They can hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey,
Yes.
Can you hear me? A little thumbs up on the chat or something? Thank you. So, Mr. Korotkin, what I tried to say was, and unfortunately, everything I said was muted. I think the challenge that we face, I'll repeat what I just said because it was only heard in this room. And Mr. Fernandez, like I alluded to before, you've kind of voiced this as well. You know, since we've returned and come to these Zoom meeting sort of hybrid models, it's been nothing but problems. And tonight is a perfect example of the audio cutting in and out where you didn't hear me. And I can tell you, Mr. Korotkin, you cut out both times, not only in your first comment, but also your rebuttal to Councilwoman Sieber. So I think what we really need to do is figure out what's going to work, what's going to be beneficial to everyone. Because right now, the model we have is not that good. I mean, it's disappointing to have the meetings where you have feedback coming into your ear, you can't touch a mic, and a lot of things have gone wrong throughout this process. So it's on us to figure out the solution going forward so that if we are to continue a model like this or something else, it's productive. Because, you know, a lot of times as the council president sits next to me, he's got to stop and start because we're not sure if people are hearing things, or we get a text from residents on the line saying, we can't hear you. So it is frustrating, this model. In a perfect world pre-COVID, it was great having everyone here, and you can watch it on YouTube, and there was times we could send in comments. But I will say what Councilwoman Sieber said, it's not just here. If you have a question, obviously reach out to us because we're always accessible. And you come here with comments as well, we appreciate it. But like, you know, if you do want to reach out to us, if you can't make a meeting or there's a conflict in your schedule, don't be afraid to send us an email or give us a call because we're happy to look into something, or if there's a concern you have, please voice it. I mean, you know, we know like everyone's not going to always agree with what we're doing. And that's the great thing about having a democracy. So we look forward to hearing from everyone, and hopefully we'll get this better in 2022, because right now it's not the ideal model. It's a little disappointing to have these stop and goes and frustrations that we each have sitting up here trying to communicate not only to everyone listening, but also the folks in the crowd.
Thank you, Councilmember Vanchery. Mr. Scherzer, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Well, as a follow-up, by the way,
I'm sorry.
I have reached out on a number of occasions.
Scherzer, your name and address for the record, sir.
My name is Norman Scherzer. I live at 26 Birch Road in Little Falls.
Good evening.
So I have reached out, and recently, for example, I asked the council president and other members, why is it that we have a standing agenda that does not include and never has included a single item in public health? Facing as we do the worst pandemic in the history of this country in over 100 years. And I never got an answer. We have standard reports from the dog catcher, from the police department, but silence with regard to public health. So that was to follow up Arnie's comments that and your response that we have tried other methods, and sometimes they seem not to be met. But let me get to my most important point. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote to the mayor, and what I told you was that the pandemic is coming back, and it's coming back in real time, and it's going to affect our children. Look at the case count this week. Recently, I sent the council an email, never got a response, and I sent you a photograph of a police officer, sergeant in town, in a local store without a mask, maybe about 2 feet from the employee in the store. No distance between them, nobody wearing a mask. And after that, ironically, saw a photograph of a great event where you hosted the seniors of Little Falls, and the council lined up for a group picture, and none of you were wearing a mask. So I am pleading with you that we need to set an example right now, because we're about to be hit with a tsunami of cases of coronavirus. I think I've presented my credentials in the past. I'd like you to take me seriously. I'm here only as a citizen of Little Falls. I worked for the Centers for Disease Control for 25 years. I was the Assistant Commissioner of Health of New York City. I was a consultant to the Harvard Institute for International Development. I worked for the Mayor of New York City, Ed Koch. I worked for the Mayor of San Juan, Puerto Rico, Hector Luis Acevedo. I have never seen anything like what we're currently experiencing in Little Falls. Silence. For God's sakes.
Finish, Mr. Scherzer.
Let me finish. For God's sakes, ask people, please put on a mask. Go into a couple of the stores that are choke points where you see lots of people crowding together. Ask them, please put on a mask, and plead with people to get a booster shot, because we're about to be overwhelmed with cases and we're going to see people die again. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Scherzer, for joining us. We do respond to each and every email, I think, that is sent to us. Although if it's a continuing dialogue, sometimes we may not send another email because the position doesn't change. But Mayor Damiano, can you please answer about the COVID question?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, in Mr.
Turn down the Zoom.
To be brief, in Mr. Scherzer's own comments, he indicates there's no public health information being provided, yet has specific figures as to a case count just this past week in Little Falls that I literally put out on a weekly basis. So to indicate that there's no public health information being shared, and in the same breath quoting public health information that's being shared is just simply inaccurate.
Mr. Kusia, is there anyone else that would like to join us in public comment? Mr. Pace, I see you in the audience. Would you like to come up? Yes, sir. Thank you.
We did this, one of the events we have every year at the Rec Center is Letters to Santa. We just got a phone call from Santa. It's close to 200 kids wrote to Santa, I'm sorry. And I just have to give you one story. One little young man sent me $2, sent Santa $2 in cash to buy a cup of coffee for hot chocolate. So Santa told me he did. He sent the $2 back and said, Mrs. Claus made me a big pot of coffee, buy some cookies for my reindeer. That was just one of the very letters that I read by Santa. So I want to wish you all a very, very ho Christmas and a happy and blessed New Year.
Thank you, Mr. Pace. Thank you, Mr. Pace. Floor is still open, Fernandez.
Going back to the next meeting, January 4th, I hope you don't take away the, even though most of the times I'm the only one here, but I hope you don't take that away from me. I like to be informed. I guess you can call me old fashioned. I like a face-to-face rather than video or anything like that. In lieu of the horrible audio system that we have, and the interruptions, which in most cases, he changes your
mind, your train of thought and all that. So I hope that you take that into account, and even if it is a small number of people that can attend the meetings physically in person, I hope you continue to do that, as well as Mr. Korotkin and other people have said that, you know, they want to enjoy it, be informed through video, you might as well. The more people that are informed about what is going on in this town, the better. That's my second comment is that I was one of those that did see a picture of all of you, all 6 of you, serving dinner. I guess it was last Friday, somebody mentioned last Friday, and you guys were in front of the chimney dishes without a mask. And I like to ask the mayor, what changed your mind about, because I remember you saying, you know, you will never open the meeting to the public. And this is quite a few times that I have asked you, you will never open the meeting to the public and all that, because you were afraid of bringing the virus to your house and all that. So now I see you in public, you still have that. So I was
Sure.
wondering what made you change your mind.
I'd be happy to address that. We had our masks on the entire evening. We took them off for all of 30 seconds to take a photograph so our faces were visible in it, and our masks immediately went back on.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. Is there anyone else who'd like to join us? Have a motion to close the public comment? So moved by Councilmember Quadri, second by Councilmember Vanchery. All those in favor of closing public comment, signify by saying aye. All those opposed to that motion, signify by saying nay. Can I have a motion? Before we close, I want to thank Mr. Kusia, Mrs. DiPiero, and Mrs. Strauss for the fine job you do in conducting and setting up this meeting up. May I have a motion to close the meeting? Motion made by Councilmember Quadri. Second by Councilmember Seaver. All those in favor of closing the meeting signify by saying aye. All those opposed to that motion signify by saying nay. This meeting is now closed.